Hello. How are we doing? I've just realized I need to turn down the sound on my computer. Welcome. Let me know if you can hear this. Okay. Bit scratchy. I think that means you can hear it as it's sounding. Hi, Michael. Hello, everyone. Hello, Dream Angus. You're going to watch while the turkey's in the oven. Thanksgiving here in USA. Happy Thanksgiving to you and any other folks in the USA. So if the sound quality is okay, I'm going to get started. This is a funky rhythm that I used to write a tune. And you can too. So those of you who are familiar with my channel and what I'm all about know that I'm teaching what I know so far about tune writing, and that one of my favourite things to do is to arrive at a melody by starting off in the land of rhythm. And I've spoken quite a bit about writing tunes in like 5/8 or 7/8 or 13/8 or 11/8, all these beautiful numbers. But this one's in 4/4, and it's just a funky rhythm. So I spend a lot of my time studying rhythm, learning about rhythm, and enjoying rhythm. And this is one. It's in 4/4. I just wrote this tune basically using that rhythm, but picking some notes. So that's the first part, which is played slowly like that. It doesn't really make sense, so I'll play it a bit faster. So that's the first part. It's almost arguably not a tune. It's almost more like a riff. I wrote a tune long ago called No More Cages, and one of my favourite bits of feedback I got from my tune writing was on that tune. Maybe it's a bit dark that some of my favourite feedback has been criticisms, but I heard that someone from the Highlands, I think from the Isle of Skye, had heard that tune and said, that's not a tune, that's a rock and roll riff. And I just love that, because I think I might agree. And I love riffs, and I think there's a lot of crossover between like riffs and tunes. Let me know what you think. But like, what have they got in common? a really good riff is many things, and in no particular order, in my opinion, a good riff is satisfying, catchy, powerful, gets stuck in your head. And I feel like tunes, your favorite tunes, the ones you love, have those same characteristics. I hope you can't hear that there's some kind of alarm going off out there. It's also kind of a storm. It's winter in Scotland, my favourite time of year. Oh my goodness me, I was out walking tonight looking at the last bit of light, that dusk, and you get this, just a certain hue, and it reminds you that you're really far north, and were it not for the Gulf Stream, you would be really a lot colder. That we are way up north here in the planet, in Scotland, and my goodness me, I just love it. I love the light. So where was I? Oh yeah, alarm. We're in a storm. It's winter. I'm going to comment. Angus, I'm finding myself hearing a 12-note phrase, yet 4/4 time signature. Interesting, because I wasn't sure that it was 4/4. Yeah, it's 4/4. I actually might just pull up the dots for a second. Would you like to see the dots to this tune? Can I do this seamlessly? Let's see. Quite possibly not. Okay. It's on the left of the screen. That's what it looks like. I'm not the first person to do this. Gordon Duncan, the late Gordon Duncan, loved writing tunes that had bits of riffage. Gordon was a huge AC/DC fan, quite unapologetically so, I believe. And I just think you can hear that. Good Drying, fantastic Gordon Duncan tune. And I just think, I think I probably said this before, but I'll say it again, a lot of riffs and that stuff comes from the blues originally, and I also think you can hear a lot of almost South American rhythms coming into Gordon Duncan stuff, and I just feel like all this stuff is great news for us tune players. We can absolutely get involved with this. So yes, that's what I've done with this tune, and it's bat deep, bat deep. So that's what I would just say to you: have a bit of fun. Why not use this this groove or any groove, but get into your funky rhythms. My advice. If you are studying music, it always helps your writing. Certainly in my case, if I'm furiously trying to learn something new, it's good news for my writing because it feeds the writing, but also by focusing not on writing but by focusing on learning, the writing almost just happens like waste product. So I would advise you, if you're wanting to expand your tune writing, go and learn some South American rhythms, clave rhythms. Just go into the world of funky rhythm, and you don't even have to play your instrument to get into it. You can just start hitting things. Alright, so the second part of this tune, I decided to not have this funky rhythm, or even any funky rhythm at all, because, and this is I guess something I do a lot, I just feel like the second part of a tune, and I'm a big lover of a two-part tune, the second part should provide some relief from the first part. And that's not to say that the first part is tiresome. It's just, I'm just saying that if you make your second part basically more of the same, then I think that becomes tiresome. So I took it away from lots of A's, and I thought, let's go up to B minor and take it away from that funky rhythm. So the B part goes. And then some of you may have noticed, I'll just put the dots up again, that this second part is not just 8 bars long. I mean, it's like not just 16 bars long, it's got an extra 2 bars at the end. And I debated very much about whether or not I should do that. It was quite a fierce debate that went on for quite some days. On one side, it was like, I just feel like that's what the tune needs. It needs this extra 2-bar phrase. And the other side was trying to find fault with that, saying, well, maybe you're just trying to be clever. Maybe that's actually just really annoying. Maybe that's the kind of stumbling block that might just stop someone else from learning this tune. Maybe you've just made sure that this tune will never get played in a ceilidh dance. And then the other half of me that responded to those criticisms said, yeah, maybe some folk might think it's sounding clever, but I like it. And yeah, it might not get played for a ceilidh dance, but so what? Maybe I'm being too precious by wanting it to be played by people. Maybe I should just be, this is what the tune is. So after much debate, I went with adding the 2 extra bars. And I have counted this tune out from being played in ceilidh dances, and maybe that it just shouldn't matter. So I'll play the B part, follow along. So you can see the last 4 bars, bottom line. And yeah, I just, of course, as I always do, make the last bar of the tune just slam back into the first bar again, which is what I tried to do. That last note I played there being the start of the tune. So I'll play the last 4 bars. I should also say James and Lucia, couple, got married this summer of 2025, and their family asked me to write them a commission, and so this was what I sent them, and they loved it. And this got played through the PA at their wedding on the shores of Loch Lomond in Scotland. And I actually have a little in progress single that I'm going to release of just this tune. It's pretty short. Should I play it with you? Do you want to hear it? I think I'll maybe just finish off by just playing it to you. It's got like, I feel like as a producer and engineer, it's not there yet. So if you were sitting there at home going, well, that mix doesn't sound that great, I probably agree. But I thought I'll just share it with you anyway. It's hopefully a fun tune to listen to, and I'll be putting the dots for this, if I haven't already, on my Patreon if you want to learn it, along with a play along track. Or I suppose you could always just like go back to this YouTube video and just find the screen with the dots and pause it if you wanted to. Yeah, so I'll maybe just share, I'll just share this in progress, like, does this work? Okay, I will have to mute. Actually, tell me if you can hear anything. I'm a little bit unsure about whether or not you can hear stuff. Okay, and let's get back to the screen with me on it. There we go. So there you go. Because I forgot my headphones for this live stream, because I'm just getting so much better at this, having been doing it almost a year. I couldn't hear the track there, but I hope that you could hear it. Thank you, Michael, for letting me know that that does indeed seem to have been the case. And yeah. That's it. It's just, this is it. This is my fun with a funky rhythm, and you can get the dots for that from my Patreon. And for you, you could just sit and learn that rhythm. You can just hit your shoulders. I recommend it a lot. Any questions at all, or I'm going to go inside and look after my family because they're tired and it's bath night for me. No, it's bath night for our wee one. So yeah, thank you to everyone for showing up tonight. It says I have had 5 concurrent viewers, 2 of whom have been commenting, Michael and Dream Angus, thank you all. And to the other 3 of you, thank you for showing up and tuning in to my little live stream. We are approaching 1 year of me doing this most weeks. It's been a wild learning experience for me, and I feel like some of you have been with me for like every single one. I think Michael Bishop, I don't think you've maybe missed any of them. Oh hey Syria, thank you. And Dream Manga says still hearing it in 12-note phrases. That's cool. Your experiences, I will say this to anyone learning stuff, whatever your experience is what you should validate. Does that make sense? I'm not going to tell you, like, you might get someone saying it's not 12-note phrases, you shouldn't hear it that way, because that's like invalidating and undermining your belief and your perception. So I'm a big believer when I'm learning stuff is just whatever my perception is where I start from. If you're hearing 12-note phrases, awesome. That's your perception of it. So yeah, so let me know if you, by the way, if you ever feel like you want me to do a video on anything else, please just get in touch, and come and join my Patreon community if you like. You get all sorts of terribly exciting updates on my life. I actually will give you an update of something that I'm quite proud of. It's not really to do with music, and if you're listening you may feel this isn't particularly impressive, but here goes. On Saturday I did 2 full loads of laundry. On Sunday I did 2 full loads of laundry. On Monday I did 2 full loads of laundry. On Tuesday I did 2 full loads of laundry. Yesterday, Wednesday, I did 3 full loads of laundry. That's a PB for me. That's a personal best. I have done more laundry this week than I've ever done in any one single week of my life, which is impressive. I'm sure you're thinking, oh my goodness me, but also you must be thinking, how big a pile of dirty clothes did you have in your house? You can't get away with telling the story without revealing the fact that you had loads of dirty clothes. Our house can be a bit chaotic at times. My wife and I are very busy people a lot of the time, and we have a toddler, and I just was like, I am getting through this. This is my mission this week. So that's got nothing to do with tune writing, and yet somehow everything. I'm joking, but also not joking. This is a big part of tune writing. I'm starting to realize, or I quite often forget and then remember that, like, your artistic output, what you do, whether it's writing or like painting, if you actually have like an outlet for your life, you can't separate that from what's going on in your life. And I've been spending a lot of time, I don't know, in the last few months, trying to make myself do as many things as possible each day that I don't want to do. I won't go too far into it, but I've been trying to override my impulses to do fun things and instead make myself do things I don't want to do, because I'm trying to change my life. I'm trying to make things better, and I've realized that things get better the more stuff I make myself do that I should do that's going to make my life better, but I don't really want to do. The more that I manage to make myself do, the better my life gets, but also the better my music gets, because I get so like raging with having to continually do laundry for whatever, or fill in a spreadsheet because you should for your tax, it just makes me so like a caged animal that when I do break out of that cage, my tunes have got more life in them, and it's a real therapeutic thing for me, and I don't think I'm alone in that. So I'm starting to realize that if you want to write good music, putting yourself through some level of daily discomfort, for my case, it really helps. It's not even that uncomfortable for probably a lot of you to do. And I don't know if this is just an ADHD thing where I find it really hard to concentrate on things that aren't like exciting. I've always been that way since I was a kid, but the more time I spend myself just trying to kind of fight that and just go, nah, you're not doing the exciting thing, you're doing the thing you hate. That the more time that my music, I think, gets better. I know a guy, a fiddle player once, who he'd been writing tunes for a while and sending them to me, and we were talking about his tunes, and then he went away to work on some fishing boats, stopped doing music so much, and came back. I saw him a while later, and his tune writing got so much more expressive, so much more real, because he was not spending his time writing tunes, he was spending his time at sea. And it just made me think, I think there's something in that about the role of music in society. It's a way of alleviating tension from your other life. And so I'm just realizing this, I'm just thinking out loud here, but I just think that for me anyway, I can't say what anyone else should or shouldn't do. The more disciplined I try to be about doing stuff I just hate, the more that actually helps my music. Okay, NSW, video on composing in 11/8. Oh my goodness me, I love 11/8. Alright, we're going to go to that. We're going to go there. I'll try and remember this. 11/8 next week. And Michael Bishop says, a tune written to fit the wash cycle. That's going to be like 1 hour 45 minutes plus an extra 15 minutes for the spin. And then there's the various stages. And then there's different pitches. That's quite a long tune. Maybe I should do that. I don't know how exciting that would be. But maybe the fact that I don't feel like I should do it is the reason to do it. Dream Angus says, so now I'm thinking about Irish Washerwoman 6/8 jig. Yeah, I think there must be loads of tunes. I'm lucky enough to do it for a career. But this music wasn't born out of people doing it for a job. I feel like a lot of this music must have been born out of like just a kind of emotional need. Particularly if you've got a hard life. Singing round the fire or going to a folk club and just singing whilst the rest of your life is frankly not easy. I'm not talking about my life now here as well. I'm talking about, I'm just wondering if this has been, that the music is the kind of the exhaust fumes of life. And yeah, I'll just leave it there with that thought, and I'll try and remember 11/8. 11/8 as in all weird time signatures. You don't count to 11 each bar. It's made up of 3s and 2s. So there's lots of different combinations of 3 and 2 that you can get to get to 11. If you listen to Mike McGoldrick's album Fused and his track Watermans, which features a gloriously, beautifully sculpted tune by Mike McGoldrick called Watermans, it's at 7/8. But at the end of the tune, there's like an outro, this repetitive line, and that's in 11/8. It's marvelous. Unbelievable album. Yeah, seminal. And Dream Manga says, my ancestors played music after work in coal mines. There, now you're talking. I mean, how horrendous must it have been to work in a coal mine? When you come out of there, the level of release you're gonna feel from singing, That's like that's the job I think of music. I think it does. Music does many jobs, but it's this release, singing, and this is what I'm watching the AI music debate with an open mind. But I feel like the prompting to get an AI to write a piece of music. I'm not going to say that that's something that isn't fun. I haven't really tried it, but what it's not is you singing your heart out after a hard day's work. I don't think. Maybe I should have someone on here who's a fierce advocate for AI music, but like particularly singing, where it's your voice, your body is releasing the sound. I don't think that can be replaced like for like quite by anything. Even playing the fiddle, which is very close to the human voice, they say, even that is like not quite the same as singing. But prompting and typing in some words into a computer and then listening to the result created by a machine which has learned from standing on the shoulders of countless giants. Maybe my mind isn't quite so open. I don't know. That's a big debate. Alright, so we'll stop there. I said that yonks ago. That was my just little sharing with you this tune, James and Lucia's Hooli, and that funky rhythm contrasted in the B part with not that rhythm, a more straight rhythm. And also you'll notice the B part has more of a moving away to different chords. It's away from A major and it's moving, and hopefully that contrasts. I just say the same things again and again and again, but have a contrasting B part. If your A part is something, do something that it's not for the B part. So the A part is funky, so I'm not going to have a funky B part. The A part is all sitting around A. They'll be with all these different notes above it, but it's all around A, so I'm not going to sit around A for the B part. I'm going to move around. I'm not going to sit around one chord. B minor to D to A to E without the funk. And I just feel like those simple concepts just keep paying off for me again and again and again. Allow me to qualify paying off. I'm not saying that these tunes are loved by anyone else. They just pay off for me in terms of I like them, they make me happy, and I find them satisfying. And it's lovely if someone else likes one of my tunes, but I write my best stuff, I think, when I'm doing what the heck I like and I find satisfying. And that'd be something that I just again would hammer that message home to you. Just have a conversation with yourself and the music. What do you find satisfying? And there's this great Hans Zimmer advert, just like I keep trying to finish, talking about his masterclass series of videos. Masterclass is this, like, I call it posh YouTube. You can pay, I think, £160 to get world authorities on any topic. And the Hans Zimmer one, the advert, I couldn't stop watching it. He's like, I like writing in D, and it's nice that if you go D, boom, and then he says it's satisfying. I just watched that so many times, partly because it was funny, but also because there was something so true in what he said. And it took me a while to realize what it was. And it was something that I already knew that I'd maybe forgotten. It's satisfying. So I think what he's saying is whether things are satisfying or not, or that's his metric for, that's what he's looking for. He's not looking for something that maybe is good or whether it's loved by other people. He's looking for something that just feels satisfying. And it's Hans Zimmer. And I just thought, yeah, that's why I love that, because I knew that, but I'd forgotten. Don't worry about whether your tune is good or going to be loved by other people. Look for something melodically that you find satisfying. Let that be your guiding compass. When you're not sure, look for something that's more satisfying. Look for the most satisfying thing. I don't think you can go far wrong with that, because what that removes is the worry about what anyone else thinks. It doesn't matter, because you're looking for something that's satisfying to you. Yeah. Alright. So, for me, Adam Sutherland, Airigi Music Live, Thursday nights, thank you all for coming along. Michael Bishop, Dream Mangus, Surya, NSW, and anyone else who's there either in real time or in the future. And yeah, I'm going to say cheerio from this stormy night in this little studio shed somewhere in Scotland. Thank you all. Go and write something you find.